We here again on a Motivators Table podcast. Yes, this is season 5 at the Motivators Table, and we got a huge guest. I want you to get your highlighters, get your pens ready. But before that, let me thank Los Angeles Tribune for giving me the opportunity to be on their platform as a podcaster, and thank you to Riverside Chat for giving me the opportunity just to put my message out there positive. And thank you to all of my sponsors. I appreciate you. But right now, get your popcorn, get everything ready. I want to bring to the Motivators Table, pull up a seat with me, Mr. Austin. How you doing, the realtor? Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Having a great day. Feeling amazing as always.
That's good, man. It's good to see you, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to get on my podcast.
Hey, anything for you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get right to it. Hey, listen, I want you right now to tell the world who you are and where you come from. Let's go.
Gotcha. All right. So welcome everybody that's chiming in. I appreciate y'all taking the time to just listen and maybe catch a couple of gems while we kind of have a nice little backyard conversation. I am Austin Williams, also known as Austin the Realtor. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Represent New York. Currently reside. You see that, right? Currently reside down in Tampa, Florida. And, just took my New York hustle, brought it down here and changing lives one house at a time.
House at a time, man. Let's talk about New York. Let's talk about how you grew up as a kid in New York.
That's a great conversation. All right. So I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn. Before third grade, I actually was in Crown Heights, and I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn. So a little background, I was about 9 years old when my mom purchased in Linden houses, AKA the projects, East New York. I'm proud of that. I'll never turn my back on where I came from. So that's huge. 2-bedroom apartment 9G, lived on the 9th floor. My mom, 2 of my sisters, and my brother lived in this 2-bedroom apartment. Obviously, my mom had the master bedroom. My 2 sisters had the other room. And me and my brother shared a pull-out couch. So that's how we rolled, nice and tight in the house. As we got older, my brother moved out, so I got the couch to myself. And then one of my sisters moved out, but obviously my other sister wasn't letting me move in. So I didn't get my own bedroom until I was 18 years old. Wow. It's cool. We were family. We loved each other, and we did everything for each other. My mom held it down for us. Got the Christmas presents I wanted, so it was great growing up and learning that side and coming from that, because it makes you stronger, gives you character, and then you take who you are and just kind of bring that out. So in that time frame, I think is where I actually started to develop who I am today. One of the things, I'm very meticulous, and when I be my meticulous is, if I see a pencil kind of laying the wrong way, I got to fix it, So I seen it was developed because, again, at an early age, I used to pack bags at the supermarket, and it might seem minor. If you go to the supermarket now, even some of these don't even give you a bag, but you see all plastic. These were the days of paper bags. So I took pride in that, making sure everything was stacked just right in that paper bag so it didn't break. And I just took pride in that at such a young age. And then as I got older, my first job was a freshman in college as a collator. I just put papers into a little brochure, but it had to be straight. It had to be perfect, Then I worked at a bookstore, Barnes & Nobles on 18th and 5th, for those that know Manhattan, and alphabetizing and just edging the books. Like, I took pride in that. So I think all those meticulous opportunities brought me to who I am today and what I do today as helping my clients and just teaching people how to be better and be the best at everything you can do. I've worked at companies where I walk through the door and I see the janitor. I'm like, hey, what's up, Bob? How's it going? And then right behind him is the CEO. I'm like, what's up, Tim? How's it going? Everybody's the same. And you just put in what you put in every day and be the best at what you do. And you can't help but to succeed. So that's kind of what my early path came from.
Definitely. And I mean, Motivators, I told you that we got a huge guest, and I want you guys to get your highlighters ready. He's walked you up on the situation. And I always like to dig deep to see where people come from in their pedigree and how your parents raised you and what your morals was. Can you tell us how your morals was growing up and how deep um, 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 how you was with your mother? You know what I'm saying, growing up in your family and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, even at the age of 17, I used to crawl my mom's bed. We used to watch movies together. So family is very important to me. In terms of growing up, I guarantee everyone listening right now, you can think back to one moment where you made one decision and it was right or wrong. And that whichever any route you took, you saw the repercussions of that, whether it was positive or negative. And I have quite a few of those in my upbringing. And I like to share with you one of them in particular. Like I said, you're talking about morals. I was a little kid. I was in the projects. We got in trouble. That just came with it. But there was one particular incident where I was hanging out with a group of guys, and we're standing around, idle time, nothing to do. And one of them said, "Hey, let's go break into the high school and steal some VCRs." And we all standing around, and one guy was like, "Yeah, I'm cool." Another guy was like, "Yeah, that sounds like fun." And another guy was like, "Nah, I'm good." And it was like yesterday, I'm standing right there, and I'm like, which person am I going to follow? Which path I'm going to go? And the majority was like, "Let's do it." And I looked at the guy that said no, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And they were like, "Nah, come on, man, it's going to be fun." I looked at him again, and he looked at me, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good." We went home. They went out. All three of them got arrested that night. All three of them went to jail that night. And here's the thing. Only one got caught. And he took the police officers to the homes of the others. So even if I would have gotten away, I wasn't getting away.
Right.
And that decision right there changed my path at that moment. And there's multiple more throughout my lifetime. But I knew every decision that I made is going to create a new fork in the road.
Right.
And talking about morals, you got to decide which path you want to take. Is it worth it?
Right.
And that path right there probably means I wouldn't be standing in front of you right now.
Y'all hear that motivation? That's a good message right there that you left real quick with my followers and the new followers and your followers and stuff like that. Just your decision making skills, right? So as a young age, you knew already that making that decision, you was already 10 steps ahead of the game. You was like, "I'm out of here. I can't do it." You know what I'm saying? And now look at you.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was like you want to follow the path.
Right.
But I made that decision, and this is why I'm here today.
Right. And we happy you here today because you made that decision. And it was
Appreciate
crazy
that.
growing up in that situation in the hood and all that. We have to make them decisions all the time. All the time.
Facts.
And what's crazy is when you think that you're making the right decision, you might be wrong. And if you're making the wrong, you might be right. You never know because it's life or death out there growing up in that urban area. I grew up in the hood, so I know that already. And sometimes when you do get out of them situations, sometimes when people they come back and they try to laugh at you, but you look at yourself now, and the very same people are maybe locked up in jail or not doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah. And to take it a step further, I'm gonna say 87 years ago, I still kept in touch with that guy that made that first decision and said not to go. And he never knew when I actually told him. I said, "You changed my life, bro.
Wow.
You changed my life." And he never knew that.
That's deep.
Yeah.
And that's something that you all as grown men, we remember the people that was pivotal in our life that helped us change, because you could have said yes and you could have been going down the wrong road, or not even right here today. You know what I'm saying? Not even in Tampa, not with your family, none of this stuff. Probably not even met your wife, probably. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Right? It goes deep like that, right? So that's those are decision-making skills that a lot of our kids, our youth, don't understand. And we be trying to. I'm in these schools all the time trying to talk to these kids, and sometimes they think my rhetoric is lame, and I'm like, listen, my nephew's doing 80 years in jail right now. 80 years. He don't want to be doing that, but he made the wrong decision to be around the wrong people. And that's what happened. And tons of my friends growing up are dead or in jail because of the wrong decisions. But also, tons of my friends are dead because of wrong decisions at war too. So it happens all over the board. You know what I'm saying? All over the board. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't just have to be in the hood. It could just be the wrong decision, period. And that's why I'm very calculus how I motivate my people. Because I can say the wrong thing and lead them to do the wrong thing, and something happens to them, and I'm accountable for that. I'm guilty of that.
Yes.
Right? Even you selling, doing houses and really, you could be out here putting the wrong message out there, telling people, hey, do this, do that, and all of a sudden it slaps you back in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm going to touch about that too, because something did happen back in 2008 where a lot of people lost their homes.
Okay.
So we'll get to that later in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you was as a young adult now. You're 18 to 21 and navigating through that situation. Let's talk about that.
Gotcha. So one thing I am thankful for is that all my friends respected who I was and the decisions that I made. So I went to college, Baruch College in New York, and I pledged Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity back in 1992. You know how we do. And when I joined, I was still living in the projects, you know, so they didn't have no concept of what that was. But they knew when I came around, it was like, oh, yo, what's good? Back then they called me Pete. That was my kind of neighborhood nickname. Yeah. And they're like, yo, standing on the corner doing what they do, I do them. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, what's good, Pete? Yo, I'm good. Y'all good? Yeah. And I kept it moving. You know what I mean? I remember sitting in my window on the 9th floor, looking out at the age of 14, 15, know who the drug dealers were. They driving Lexuses and looking all fly and all the girls or whatever. And I'm just watching from my window. And I was like, yo, I want that, but I don't want that. You know what I mean? Why can't I have that? But I don't want that. Right. So I knew at that age, I knew between right and wrong, but the right, I was just like, I want the benefits of that. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm going to get that. Right. I'm going to get that. Right. You know, and again, kind of fast forward to 18, went to college and used to come in and out. And then when I joined the fraternity, which is amazing, my Moneymakers Alpha chapter, Baruch College, those are my dudes. Yeah. The name of the chapter was Money Making Xi Alpha, which means everyone had that mindset. So it was a perfect peg into that slot, you know? And now I'm 30 years later, still cool with all of them. Investments, investors, homes. I mean, it was just a perfect fit. So I was able to get through what I got through in the projects and then just catapulted into everything else that where I am today.
Okay. Hey, listen. We love everything that you're saying, but we're not going to even just skip over the Phi Beta Sigma, the greatest fraternity in the world. How did you join that, and how did it change you as a young man, and what perspective did it give you? Because I came in a little later, in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? But you've been at 30 years strong, so you saw the frat as a kid, and then you saw it as it grew to what it is now. Can you talk about that?
Of course. So 11 weeks, 2 days, 19 hours, 17 minutes, and 3 seconds is what it took for me to wear those letters. And that's important to me. Why? Because I spent time with some brothers that I got to know. We were strangers. And then we were done. We were family. And then, and the thing about, and again, there's a lot of stuff in the news about fraternities and things that happen. And, I definitely want people do not paint a broad brush over things you hear in the news and then generalize it, because that is not the case. One of the things we learned about becoming part of a fraternity is you are who you are before you go in. We're just going to give you some tools to navigate to make it better. We're not going to make you someone that you're not. And I think that's what happened. Once I got to the fraternity, there were some guys that was just like, all right, we're not going to rock, because that's who you were before, and you're just bringing that into the organization. But I was thankful enough to surround myself with a great group of guys. We had fun, we worked, we share ideas, and to this day, we still communicate. We talk about the stock market, we talk about real estate, we talk about politics, but you got to surround yourself. It doesn't have to be a fraternity. Just surround yourself about like-minded people that's ready to move forward and not just stay where they are. And I think that's what made the difference. But yeah, being in the fraternity, I mean, it's been amazing to this day. I mean, you can see I still wear my band 30 years later. And I'll stand behind it, and there you go. There you go. So you meet some great people, and it's a true brotherhood, it's a true brotherhood. So, me blowing
my mentor, shout out to Mr. Ali Broswell. He told me the fraternity is the big world. And a lot of people, you say you're not gonna get along with everybody, but you find the ones that you get along with and that you can emulate, and those that you can share stories with and friendships and bonds, and you stick by them. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the brothers that you cross with. It could be people that you know from all over the world. Like I met a lot of good brothers in DC and Atlanta, all over now. So it's like I feel like sometimes I bond with even you, like you took us in, like you knew me for years, and I'm gonna tell you on my podcast, I appreciate that because that made me feel like family. It didn't make me feel like a number. It made me feel like, hey, you wanted to get to know me, and then afterwards, you wanted to, show me some things, and what I'm saying, and seeing you out networking and being your authentic self, and even in networking events where we met up and we saw each other, I was always impressed, and I appreciate you for just taking me under your wing and just showing me little, because I watch. I'm very observant. I might not say too much because I'm into everything, like out there with business and speaking, but I do watch, and I do observe, and I do like, okay, is this person really living what he's talking about? And I appreciate you for being that person.
I appreciate that as well. I'm glad it shows. That's the goal.
Yeah, definitely, man, and it definitely changed my life, for the good, and just being a part of it, and adding value to the frat, and the frat adding value to me, and I appreciate it so much because there's so many brothers in this fraternity with so much wisdom and so much grit, so much glory, just things that just hearing them stories, it means a lot to me,
Yeah,
especially our chapter. Shout out to our chapter in Tampa, Sigma Psi Sigma. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, Tampa Metro all day.
Yeah, Tampa Metro all day. So man, let's talk about let's talk about a few experiences you had, just coming up in the frat, just things that you had to do as far as service, and what I'm saying, everything. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so joining the frat obviously is a conversation, and one of the things that I've learned is, and we in my chapter took seriously during and after, is just making sure you're on the right path. There's things that I learned. I'm not saying they told me, oh my God, I didn't know that, but they provided some structure. Again, I was a little kid from the projects at 18, so I didn't have a lot of structure. So it definitely helped bring some structure. And again, if you recall my earlier comments, it fed the structure that I was already building at a young age.
Right.
And then once I joined the frat, there's the fun part. And actually, here's a little thing I want to mention. I have this analogy for those that think about fraternities. Shameless plug, I'm going to eventually finish my screenplay, so look out for it. It's called For the Love. But the concept is, think about walking past a home, and you hear music blaring from that home, and it says Phi Beta Sigma frat house, whatever. And you see fraternity guys going in, and everybody's, you see the shades are down, but everybody's moving around. You're like, there go those frat boys. They're always partying, and then someone opens the door and they notice they're cleaning. They got brooms. They're painting the walls with music, so everything you see from the outside may not be what's really happening inside.
Right.
So you don't want to judge. You got that pre notion of, oh yeah, I know what they're doing. Do you though? And that's exactly when I said I was writing that screenplay. It was just about that. Shout out to my guy DJ Psycho from New York. We've been together for over 35 years, but I told him to this day, before I joined the frat, I saw him walking around college, and I was an arrogant 18-year-old from the projects. I was like, who do you think he is? Why he walking like that? And now he's like my best friend. He's down here in Tampa with me. I told him that. It's a funny story. Right. And that's exactly how it is. It's like, don't prejudge. Right. Because after I got to know him and I got to know what those letters meant, totally different story. And that goes along in anything that you do.
Right.
Don't prejudge. Prejudge is, that's like that. I mean, I can go on and on about that, but just take a minute, understand what you're dealing with before you make a decision.
Exactly. And take a break, take pause, and you know what I'm saying, and research and everything like that. A lot of people, we live in this generation where it's very microwavable, it's quick, so we quick to come up with answers, because it's at our fingertips. We Google, we search, but if you do dig deeper, what I'm saying, everybody that's been through some things, and that's why I always tell people about my ugly. Before you can Google me, I'm gonna tell you right before you meet me, this is what I've been doing, this is what happened to me, but this is my story, and this is what I'm doing to get through that. And progression is very big for me, because some people, you meet them and they still there at the same level you met them 10 years ago. And those are the type of people that, what I'm saying, they don't want to grow. And those are people, no disrespect, I try to stay away from, because I don't want to be held back. I want to know always new things. I want to always learn. I want to always evolve. Kids are always being born every day. So is information. So as the information is evolving, I want to continue to know that so I can understand how to articulate my speech and whatever I got going on. So basically, that's what's going on right now, is understanding the world, reaching out, giving back, service, all these things that we're doing as men, and also as fraternity men and family men and fathers, that we're giving back. And I appreciate you, because I see that's all you do right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and again, the community service. When we talk about service in the fraternity, culture of service of humanity, like that's my thing, bro. Like I had extra food at one of my offices. I'm like, no, let me get that. I'm gonna see some homeless people on the way home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just a mentality that you want to give back. If you got it, give back. Not everybody had opportunities. Again, you hear people say, oh, you can be a product of your environment, but everyone can make decisions. And sometimes, like you said, if you make the wrong decision, it just may not pan out for you. But don't look down on them because they ain't got it. If you got it, help them out. Reach out a hand and pull them up.
Right.
So, what we do, Metropolitan Ministries, Feeding Tampa Bay, we try to do what we can, and I thrive in that. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's push forward with the story. Let's talk about during the after, what I'm saying, the fraternity and joining and everything like that. What did you do? What did you do next after that?
Gotcha. So here's another catapult story. So all through college, my line brother got me a job at Barnes and Nobles, and I was a sales clerk. Then I became a supervisor, and then all through college, and I actually dropped out of college. Yeah, I did. I dropped out. Why? Financial. My last semester, I went to register, and they said, "Oh, your financial aid ran out, and you owe us for last semester." And I'm standing there with my classes for my life. Dude, I already took my pictures to graduate. So that was a blow, to the point where I balled up that piece of paper, threw it at the registrar, and I walked out the building. And I ain't go back. The little bit of money I did have, I bought a car, and I was like, you know what? I got a good job at the bookstore. I'm good. And went to the bookstore, started working full time, still hanging out with my guys. But this is where that support is important. We was playing a game of basketball. They had all graduated. And the team I was on won. And he's like, yeah, we won, college graduates. And they looked at me, they was like, nope. I was like, say less. And I went back. Finished those couple of classes, got my economics degree.
There you go.
Boom. There you go. Still at the bookstore, though. I was like, I graduated, I'm good. Another catapult moment. Someone walked in and was like, hey, you look familiar. Did you go to Baruch? I was like, yeah, how can I help you? She's like, nah, I'm good, but didn't you graduate? I was like, yeah. She was like, what are you doing here? Catapult moment. I was like, you know what? You're right. I got an economics degree. Why am I working at a bookstore? And then I went, started interviewing, couldn't get a job. I was like, I want a career. I tried to get a career right out the gate. Couldn't get a job. I was like, all right, you know what? 2 steps backwards, 3 steps forward. Stop looking for a career. Let me look for a job. What am I good at? Customer service. Being at that bookstore built something in me to develop a helping mentality. And another plug, look out for my book, Don't Say No. I've come up with a way to communicate, deliver the yes or deliver the action item. You never really have to say no because you want to continue delivering value. We'll get to that later in the conversation. So I went and started looking for a job, customer service. It just so happens to be at a financial firm. And from there, I was able to get my Series 6, my Series 7, my Series 63. I am a licensed financial advisor. So I use that background coupled with my real estate so I can help people, really help them realize their dream. Right. And that means finding out where they are financially. It's not about getting the check, because I have a motto: chase the relationship, don't chase the check. So between that helping mentality and my financial background, I can make sure not just sell them the house, but make sure they keep it.
Right.
And I built that mindset over time. So from the bookstore, catapulted me into the financial. When I bought my first home in New York, you deal with lawyers. Remember, I'm very meticulous. So I'm sitting in the closing, finding mistakes that the lawyers are making. Love the process. The couple that helped me buy my home, my hot water heater broke. I didn't know who to call. I called him. He said, I'll be there in a heartbeat. He helped me install it. And we had so much time together. He talked about real estate. And that was it. Got my license, and I've been doing it ever since, over 20 years.
I love the pivot. I love the pivot to real estate and understanding that. Let's talk about the real estate game. How long have you been in the real estate game for?
23 years now.
23 years. And that's Florida or New York too?
Started in New York. I was the co-op, came for a minute, had a whole entire co-op complex up there. And what's funny is a lot of people want to get into real estate, and there's so many ways to make money in real estate. You don't need your real estate license, but as a realtor, it's hard. You know, it's hard to get started. And, you know, you got to build up that business, especially if you don't have another job. I believe in multiple streams of income. And at the time, my 9 to 5 to me was just another stream of income. So they didn't dictate my future. And then I was so excited. I'm knocking on doors, letting people know I'm a realtor. They thought I was running for mayor. You know, it was hilarious, you know. And from there, I just kept that energy literally the whole time. So made money in real estate, learned the process, but built my own business model to the point where now I could be on podcasts, and I got some webinars coming up. I just did a webinar last Saturday. I'm speaking at a convention in June. I'm on a teaching phase now. So I want to kind of give back to realtors and other entrepreneurs, because I've found over time that if you're in sales or if you want to deliver service, product, anything to anyone, it's you're bringing to them. And that's why you want to have that mindset to really know who you are and know the value that you're delivering. When I go to networking events, I don't ask people what they do. I ask them what they do that change lives. Because I don't want your title. I want your impact.
Exactly.
And I try to get them to think differently, because you want to deliver your value. Because there's people out there that car salesmen, they have no value. They just got a title and a good game. And if I ask them, how do you change lives? They're like, what do you mean? I sell cars. They have no value. Those are the conversations you want to have with people that you're going to do business with.
And I tell people that all the time. I feel a lot of people are doing that thing that they want to do, and they're doing it for the likes and the attention. They're not doing it for the impact. And it's going to fizzle out when the light fizzles out and the real story comes to light. You know, and everybody has a gift, and everybody has to activate that gift. And I talk about that in a lot of my speeches. And be who you are. Be your authentic self. If God blessed you with that type of gift, use it, because you don't want to get to where you got to go. And the situation is that you didn't use that gift. So I tell people, I say, listen, if that's what God put on your heart, do it. But make sure if there's one person in the room or 100 people, impact somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's my speech every day. I'm on the road to do 100 episodes this year because I'm trying to impact somebody. I got signed to Los Angeles Tribune. Let's be straightforward. Last year. But they wanted me to give them 40 episodes and 4 seasons, 40 episodes. I said, I'm going to do you better. I'm going to give you 100 real stories, 100 people, and I'm going to let that fizzle, because people don't understand. In order to make revenue, you could do all this speaking, do all this other stuff, but how do you make money while you're sleeping? I got 10 books out. I got all my podcasts out. So while I'm speaking, numbers, and that's what I hear you doing too. And I'm proud of you, because I see you at these networking events, and I see that you're talking to people and network, and I just sit back and smile, because it's like, okay, there it is. That's what you're supposed to do. Your network is your net worth. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get out there and if you believe in yourself, you got to put your information out there.
Facts.
So let's talk about how you're cornering the market in real estate right now. Because right now, you said you did it for 30 years in real estate. And now over 20 years, I see a lot of steam being picked up by you. Let's talk about the rejuvenation of what you're doing now.
It's funny you say that, because my daughter makes fun of me. So I'm a little older now, but I'm still trying to keep up with technology. So I kind of delved into the little AI, and I got some stuff coming out there, and I'm getting some good responses. My daughter thinks I'm lame, but it's okay. She's 16, but it's cool, you know. So definitely, I'm really pushing that. I work what I call my SOI, my sphere of influence, because I'm all about relationships. You know, like I said, realtors, there's a lot of way to prospect. You can cold call, for sale by owners, expireds, and that's good too. And I teach that too. Literally, right before this podcast, I was talking to one of my mentees and kind of giving them some tips on how to build business. But you got to find out what works for you. And for me, I'm a relationship person. So I teach not just realtors, but other entrepreneurs through persuasive conversation on how to deliver your value without holding up a billboard.
Right.
You know, people know I'm a realtor, and I don't have to say, hey, guys, I'm a realtor. And I teach people how to talk that way, how to communicate that way, how to deliver, because that's what you do. That's your job. And I'm using that, and I'm teaching people how to do that as well. You know, so through branding and just treat your business like a business. You know, don't treat your business like a 9-to-5. Treat your business like a business. And that's when you change that mindset, you're going to catapult yourself forward. And that's what I've been doing with my real estate.
I saw that, and I paid attention closer. I'm watching. I'm so proud of you. I remember you had that conversation with me at the school. That was tapping into me about things like that. And then not only did you talk to me, you went back and researched it, and you're doing it. So that makes me happy, because some people that you give information to, they just take it and they don't do nothing with it. That's because they don't believe in themselves. And your whole life, listen, entrepreneurs, anybody, there's 3 steps to this. There's hustling, then there's entrepreneurship, then there's businessman or woman. And a lot of us are stuck in entrepreneurship where they think that that's where you're supposed to be at. I want to be a serial entrepreneur. I want all these things. No, after that, you got to manage your entrepreneur. You got to manage your business. So you got to be a businessman, businesswoman. And in order to manage that, you got to manage your brand inside of your business. And my brand is a Hood Motivator. I get them talking. Why he called me a Hood Motivator? Why he dressed like that? But then when they open up that onion, oh, he educated. Oh, he got 14 years in the military. Oh, he actually know how to speak. Oh, he's all these things. Yes, because I got you going. And I'm on the road to be a household name, because I'm not only a motivational speaker or life coach. I'm my own brand, and that's what I see you doing right now. And I'm happy, because now the knowledge that you have is wealth, and I'm glad you're going to teach that, because a lot of people don't know. It's a lot of realtors out here. They don't have that much experience like you, so you can get out there and teach these classes and show them how to get in front of their SOIs. Get in front of that, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Making sure they understand, hey, I got a book right now. It's called The Power of the Pivot. If you Google it on Amazon, type in Dr. JayR McIntyre, The Power of the Pivot, it shows you how to pivot the right way, how to pivot, how to pivot fast, right? So when I went bankrupt after my security company, I had to pivot. And when I pivoted, this is where I pivoted to. But it took me a while, because I used to give my information out for free. 4 years, I spoke for free. Boom. But I'm giving you top-notch information, because it's like, try fried rice. I'm giving you a little sample, because till you buy that plate. And when you buy the plate, it's game time, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'm proud of you.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're doing. Let's talk about your branding.
Yeah, so I don't know if you say it now, but everyone, Austin the Realtor, you know, I got T-shirts. So, like I mentioned, I was going to throw on a little button-down shirt and a blazer, and I was like, no, I'm going to keep this real. You know, we talk about where I came from, so I threw on, like I said, the Yankee hat and whatever. But from a branding standpoint, Austin the Realtor is my brand. Follow me on Facebook, Austin the Realtor. Instagram, Austin.the.realtor. My website is www.austintherealtor.com. My email is austin@austintherealtor.com. You know, repetition is when people start to remember things.
Exactly.
So determine what your brand is and then live that brand. You know, I'm not wearing shirts and ties every day. So if I throw on a T-shirt, I'm going to throw on my brand. You know? So that's just the way. I mean, I walk with a business card. You know, I can be anywhere. And if someone's having a conversation, I got business cards. I got QR codes. You know, you want to be able to talk to whatever people are into. You know, so branding wise, like I said, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. I spoke to some realtors, and they're like, well, I'm running to the supermarket, but I don't look good, so I'm not going to tell them I'm a realtor. I'm not going to put my sign on the side of my car. I've been at gas stations, casino. I've been everywhere, and people's like, oh, you're a realtor. Like, anybody, they're people just like you.
Yep.
You know, and you're a person. You know, you're not this thing on a pedestal. You're a person doing the job. And like I said, that's where that relationship part come in. Right. You know, just jogging. I'm wearing a realtor shirt.
Right.
You know, and I have people stop me and he's like, hey, listen, I see you're a realtor. What do you think about the market? Yeah, let's chat.
Right.
Gives me an opportunity to have a conversation.
Right.
Chase the relationship, not the check.
Exactly.
And
I like the way you said that. Chase the relationship, not the check. Because like I said, again, we're going to hit on it. A lot of people are chasing the check, and there's nothing wrong with it. You want to get paid, but if you chase the relationship, the money will continue to grow and stay because you gave these people your best product and they believe in you. I just got off the air earlier today talking to 700 veterans. And it's relationships that I'm building with these veterans that are transitioning to be where I'm at and letting them know, hey, before you do take care of anything, make sure you take care of your mental first because you don't want to crash out when you out here in this industry trying to be something that, hey, you know what? I want to chase the money now because I was in a uniform for so long. So I appreciate you saying that. I'm going to use that saying, chase the relationship, not to check. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to cite you. I'm gonna cite you. Hey, Austin Realtor, hey, he said this, not me. He said this. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue our conversation, man. Let's talk about what's new, what you got going on.
Gotcha. So, like I mentioned before, I really turned on the teaching side. So, shout out to my broker Johnny Lowy. He's the franchisor of Line Right Realty, and he's a true coach. You know, and I was with Line Right, and then I kind of left. I tried to help another office kind of build some foundation. Things just wasn't aligning there. And guess what? I said aligning. Johnny kept in touch. We talked. And the one thing about him is I was doing a networking event that I was sponsoring. And he was like, I'm there. I want to see it. Let me see what you do. I'll critique. Let's talk. And now he's given me the platform to actually do the teaching that I want to do. So we actually got a podcast that we're putting together now. It's not always black and white in real estate. Sometimes you got to work in the gray, you know, and we're going to be giving some information on real estate, not just here's an offer, let's close, but there's a lot of things in between, multiple financing options, subject to, you know, foreclosures, short sales. I mean, there's so many ways to get into a multifamily. I'm starting to do commercial real estate as well. So however I can be a benefit to those around me, no matter what you're looking for. Oh, you want to get into it? I do fix and flips. I got an Airbnb in Kissimmee. I got a long-term rental. I can teach you how to do that. Let's talk. And that's what I'm going to start bringing, not on a one-on-one basis, but to a larger masses where, like I said, a webinar series. And like I said, I'm talking at my convention in June. So really, really getting that information out to people. And like you said, I'm talking for free, but listen to me now because it's not always going to be free. So,
it's a journey, man. It's definitely a journey in the speaking industry, and coaching and education, especially if you believe in what you're saying and you're doing it because it's saturated. And I tell people all the time too on my coaching and teaching that there's a lot of people trying to get you to make $1 million and they haven't even made $1 million. So if you understand what I'm saying is they're getting rich off you, trying to point you in if you fail. But stand behind the people that are really believing in everything they're saying, that are jumping off the porch, and they are the mission and the message behind their message, right? Sometimes people are doing that thing and that's not even them. It's like, I mean, do you even believe in yourself? A lot of these people are hypocrites, and I talk about that too. It's like, hey, if you tell me you're doing this and I see you out doing something else, why are you deceiving me? I didn't had enough of that. But like I said, always I give you your kudos. You are exactly who you are inside and out. Every time I talk to you, every time I run into you, it's either about the fraternity, the family, real estate, or just things that you're doing as far as with the DJ. And I see it. Those are things that you always talk to me about, and it's consistent. A lot of people are not consistent. They get tired at the third lap and they don't even start running again. But you are consistent and you rejuvenated yourself again because now it's not 20 years ago. It's now the time frame is so you don't have to work as hard or just be smarter on that phone and make your information out. And now, hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you a tidbit. My daughter, she's 25. When she was your daughter's age, I was trying to get their attention. My 25-year-old and my 10 years ago. And you know, I didn't raise them in the house with me. So how I was able to father them was through memes. If dad said it, they didn't want to listen to it. But if somebody else said it and it sounded like dad, I said, listen to them. But check it out. Now, my 25-year-old is my manager now because I went through a slew of people who I thought that I could believe in and put me in a position where they wasn't even that. But God was like, if your daughter can watch you all her life, and she be giving you suggestions, and they no hands down. The youth is social media. They run it. Why not put her in that position? So when I was able to start creating more income for myself, she became my manager. All my kids give me suggestions of my material. If you see my Instagram and my YouTube, they post that for me, and it's popping because it's like I just got to do the content, and y'all just got to. Okay, I got it. It's a team thing, and I appreciate it because we got to use our kids, especially. I'm 45. My daughter's 25. My son is 19. My other daughter's 15. I use them all to my benefit to help me push me forward and understand what's going on. So I appreciate, even your daughter. She's telling you, hey, Dad, you
watch it now. Watch it right now. So we're going to talk about this as soon as we're done.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Of course. I mean, she has done some of my videos, but she's a teenager, so she's doing a little teenage thing. But I'm constantly telling her, I was like, look, you got this. And I try to give her some stuff. She shot some of my videos. So yeah, I love that. Keep the money in the family, keep the knowledge, and those that's closest to you. If they're willing to accept it, give it and let them benefit too. One of my mottos is everyone in my circle eats. So if you're in my circle, people's like, hey, I got this. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, what are you doing? Nah, everybody in my circle eats.
Everybody. You sound like that.
I stand by that.
I love it.
Yeah,
and that's how it's supposed to be. And wake up happy every day, getting to what God told you to do, right? And God told me that this year's harvest season, everything I've been planning for the last 3, 4, 5 years is coming into fruition now. And people think
that's awesome.
I tell people all the time, I said, you look at me now and you say, oh, he work out or he do. I said, I've been doing this for 20 something years. My foot been on people's neck. Now you just waking up cleaner because it's consistency now. This is what I believe in this. I'm supposed to be doing this. You're not going to stop my birthright. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't let nobody stop you. Do what you got to do. This is your time. You know the knowledge. Now it's time just to integrate it with the social media and take it and blow it up. Because at the end of the day, knowledge can't catch up to you. You already got it already. People are just getting started and trying to get the wealth of knowledge that you got 20 years ago. You got 20 years worth of knowledge. Go teach them classes, tax them, make them pay you because at the end of the day, you deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? You deserve to have all that situation because you put the time in. Who else put the time in?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did, man.
I like that.
Yeah, let's talk about what you got going on in the future. Before we start closing out, let's drop them with some knowledge. What you got going on?
Yeah, you got it. So, like I said, one of the things I'm known for is always trying to drop gems. Even when I go to network events, I want to drop some gems. And one that I stand behind. And you may not know this stat, but I don't know if you ever heard of the 100-hour rule. 100-hour rule. If you do something for 100 hours. You are now better than 95% of the people in that discipline. Google it. It's been tested. Now think about 100 hours sounds like a lot, right? In 1 year, you do 2 hours a week. That's your 100 hours. 30 minutes a day. That's 7 months. 1 hour a day. That's 3.5 months. So if you pick up something today that you've never done before and did it for 100 hours consistently, you are now in the 5% of people doing that thing. And if you think about that, again, it could be what you're doing today. I guarantee a lot of people are doing things mundane. They're not putting any deliberate focus into it. But do 100 hours of deliberate focus, you'll be better than you were yesterday. Guarantee. Whether it be an instrument, painting, knowledge. How many hours of Netflix have you binged? Look at your screen time if you got an iPhone and look at how much time you've been on social media.
Right.
Watch how fast that 100 hours add up.
Right.
If you want better for yourself, deliberate focus. Well, how do I do that, Austin? Grab your calendar. Do something called time blocking. Put that hour on your calendar. When that alarm goes off, stop and deliberately focus on that thing. Remove distractions. Oh, let me go grab an apple real quick. You know what? I got 10 more minutes. Let me go do this thing. And guess what? It's not going to get done. You want to see results, you need deliberate focus.
You need to.
And that's on you. That's the easy part. Now decide that thing you want to do. Get your 100 hours in. 95% of the people can't keep up with you.
Nope.
Can't keep up with you. So try it. Try it. If you're listening, try it. Pick that thing you like. It doesn't have to be work. It can be whatever you like to do. You want to play the drums? Give it 100 hours.
Yep.
See what you think.
That's interesting that you said that because I always talk about the 10,000 hour rule. To be proficient at anything is 10,000 hours. That now you know that those are the steps, and I never even heard it at that level. So I appreciate you because that gives people that are just now getting started hope. 100 hours. That's it.
Keep it
Give
simple.
me 100
That's
hours,
it.
and then we get 1,000, and then we keep walking our way up. But give me 100, like Austin said. Give me 100 hours, and that will tell you if you really want to stick to what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And that will let people know, navigate. You know what I'm saying? That will let people know, even at your conferences, if you want to be a realtor, give me 100 hours. Let me see what you want to do. Let me see you on 100-hour marathon doing the same thing and seeing if you don't get bored at it or how you can make it move forward and make the needle move forward, man. I'm going to use that. I love that.
It's legit. It's legit. And like I said, Google it. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I told you guys, he's dropping knowledge. And give me something that my motivators could thrive on. I know you got a lot more. I'm gonna give the floor to you for a few minutes.
I do. All right, I'll give you one more. If you're in sales, if you're selling something, it could be real estate, it could be whatever it is. People want to work with people conceptually that have experience. But what if you're a realtor, you just became a realtor 30 days ago, a year ago, and they're like, well, all right, I want you to sell my house, but how long have you been doing real estate? Well, I've been doing it for 6 months. Nah, I'm good. I believe in being honest, and I believe in being transparent. I also believe in persuasive conversation. So guess what? Any realtor I meet, I'm like, look, you now got my card. You got a question, call me. What does that mean? Now I'm on your team. I've been doing real estate 20 years. And I use this at all network events that I go to for realtors, and this is my first gem. I ask them, hey, how do you change lives? Oh, I'm a realtor. I'm like, all right, well, I know you're a realtor, but how do you change lives? Do you care about what you do? Deliver your value. Number one. Number two, how long you been doing it? A year. All right, now I'm a seller. I want you to list my house. How long you been doing real estate? A year. Not enough experience. But wait a minute. I know Austin, a realtor that's been doing it for 20 years. And if I got a problem, I know he can help me with it. My new answer is my team and I have been doing it for over 20 years. And we've seen just about every obstacle. We've seen and we guarantee we can get you to the closing table. Let's talk business.
There you go.
And that works in any industry. Because again, no one's in business by themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So utilize your circle and leverage that support behind you, and then catapult into anything that you want to do.
Right.
I guarantee people want to work with people that's confident and know what they're talking about. It's that simple. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
You know?
He dropping jewels. Pick him up, highlighters. Hey, he dropped them all over, man. I'm going to give you the floor to tell us all your social medias, and then we're going to move forward from there. So tell the world again, or even put in the chat where we can find you at.
Gotcha. I'll definitely put it in the chat. But again, my brand is Austin the Realtor. So you go on Facebook, it's Austin the Realtor. Instagram, Austin.the.realtor. I'm on LinkedIn, Austin Williams. I haven't changed that yet, but it does say executive and realtor, but I'm on there too. Yeah. So come and check me out. I'm around. Everyone knows my phone is never off. And one of my mottos is, if you got a question, text me. If it's 3:00 in the morning, I may not answer. I'm probably sleeping. But guess what? You're not going to forget your question, and I'll be able to answer it first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
So don't try to hold back information, because, again, you got to get information to move forward. Right. So if you want to write it down, and not just for me, but anything that you're doing, if you come across something, write it down if it's a question mark. Because I guarantee the brain is only going to do what the brain does. And at some point, you're going to forget some of that stuff. And that could have been some important information that you can give you to your 100 hours.
Exactly.
So write that down, get that answer, so that you can continue to progress and move forward.
I love that, man. I love
appreciate the time
on my platform, and I appreciate you just giving me your time. And I know that you have a lot going on. Thank you for I told you guys, motivators. I don't bring anybody on my motivators table because it's mine that I'm not inspired by. I'm definitely inspired by Austin since day one. He won't even tell you how we met, but he was in charge of teaching us our steps. And he came in, and that's one of his skill sets too. He's a hell of a stepper. So he taught us the moves and while we was crossing and stuff like that. So I appreciate you doing that for us. And then just take it to me, because I am sometimes awkward to be around because of just who I am and what I'm doing and stuff like that. So I appreciate you just being a friend, and just being out there and doing what you have to do, man. And thank you again for just coming on and just spreading your light. You're so positive, and
Thanks, bro.
Definitely love that you're teaching now. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to your family and everybody around you too that's encouraged you to keep going, man. And right now it's a segment of the time where I pour into you, right? So it's called Pour Into Me. I want you to hold a cup up in your hand, a blank cup like this. Hold a cup up, pour it out, pour whatever else is in that cup. Now hold it up. And I want to tell you, Austin, you're special, bro. I love you. Thank you, man. I know sometimes guys at of our statue, we don't hear this enough, and we don't do it enough as men and even black men. But I love you. I'm special. You're special. Thank you for just inspiring me. Thank you for, I was a fly on the wall and I watch everything. Thank you for being exactly who you say you are. Thank you for being a loving father, a loving husband, a friend. I see all these things that you have, and I'm just applauding you. And I know sometimes people don't give you your flowers. I'm giving you your flowers live on air. And thank you again for just pouring into everybody that you come in contact with. So I have to pour into you, because where do the motivators go get motivated? Where do the healers go get healed? They come right here. Right. When you get up out of this table, you're going to run through a brick wall. And thank you for being a special type of person to me. Thank you again, man. And I can't wait to see my motivators again. Thank you for accepting my guest. Austin, do you want to leave them with anything else before we get out of here?
Be better than you were yesterday. Do that every morning. You can't lose. Cannot lose.
You can't lose.
That's it.
Thank you, motivators. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. Boom.